Well, we met at UC. We both went to UC. So we met actually earlier in UC when we were probably sophomores at UC. So we knew each other. We were acquainted. We had friends in common, but we were just, knew each other in passing. So we met actually my senior year, going into my senior year, I think. Going into her senior year, we met, and we were having a Cap Alpha Psi dance.
Okay.
So at that time, we had two separate homecoming dances. So we had the regular UC homecoming dance, and the Kappas had a homecoming dance.
Okay.
So I was on duty recruiting people to go to the dance. So I was walking around campus, and I saw her coming out of class, and I said, "Hey, we have a dance that we're going to, a homecoming dance. I hope you can make it." And she kind of said, "Well, I don't know if I'm gonna make it or not." And I was trying to encourage her to go, and she said something along the lines of, "Well, I'll go, but are you gonna take me, or are you asking me to go?"
Oh no!
And I said, "Well, I am asking you to go, but yeah, I don't have a date."
We were in TUC, and you're right, I was coming out of class, we were kind of passing, we had passed each other, and it was like, hey, he was like, "Hey, you coming to our homecoming dance?" And I was like, "What homecoming dance?"
Right.
You were like, "The Kappa's homecoming dance." I'm like, "I didn't know anything about the Kappa's homecoming dance, but sure, you got some information. I think you might have had a flyer or something."
I had a flyer, yep.
And you were like, "Yeah, it's at Longwood Hall," and he was doing all of this, explaining.
I was selling it.
He was selling it. And I said, "Well, sure." He was like, "You should come. You should come." I said, "Well, are you asking me?"
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, yeah." I think it clicked. Like, I better not say no.
Right.
Anyway, he said,
so
yeah.
were both of you single at the time?
Yes.
Correct.
I was single at the time.
Okay.
We were both single, and we were both in our last year, which I think is an important point to make. We were ready to get out of UC. We were just really aligned and didn't even know it.
Okay. So did you go to the dance together?
We did. Went to the dance. Yeah. Picked her up, went to the dance. So what was funny about that was we didn't really go to the dance. I mean, we were dressed to go to the dance. But again, we had a job. So I was using the transport van. So we were taking people from UC's campus down to homecoming. So I was running a shuttle bus or a van back and forth. So we were dressed up, but the whole dance, she just rode with me in this van, and we just drove back and forth and talked and talked to students. So that's kind of how we started to really learn about each other, get to know each other. And that kind of thing. Yeah, we had good conversation.
We just ended up supporting each other, like class-wise, staying on track, staying focused on graduating. And I think a part of that focus is what kept us close as friends, and really developed into a friendship and a relationship with this other focus, which was to graduate, which is what we did.
Okay.
It's simple. I love it.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think what she said is true. I think it was all tied, at least for me, I can only speak for me, it was all tied up in finishing school. So in my mind, when I met her, I had been in relationships before that, and when we first started to talk, I felt like she was just the most genuine, authentic sort of person that I had ever met. So it wasn't like a lot of game plan or. She was really straightforward. I really respected that she was straightforward and honest, and never had to really figure out if she was telling me the truth or not. I just always believed what she said, and she always did what she was going to say. So it was real, it was real nice to have that, and I hadn't really seen anybody with that quality before. And then we were working to get through school together, so we had the same focus, the same goal at that time to graduate. And I did, I did ask her to marry me when we graduated. So
cool.
We had a graduation party together at her grandmother's house.
No way.
Yeah, and that's where I asked her to marry me at at that event. So there were a lot of people around, and it was
Okay.
a really special time.
And yes, it was a surprise.
Yeah.
He had bought a ring and was hiding it, which
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
His mother.
This is getting personal, personal, personal.
So, my
So you
parents-
all had the foundation.
Yeah, we had an example, I think,
Yeah.
that really helped us respect the institution and understand what it meant to be married. You know, so I had a really strong example of what that looked like for me personally. And so I saw the good and the bad with that, you know, with my
Yeah.
own parents. And I had an idea of how I might be able to do it better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I valued it. I thought it was important. And I loved the fact that my parents were married when I was growing up. So
Yes.
seeing them and what they went through was helpful because I could take what I learned from their marriage, good and bad, and see if I could do different, you know, in my own life.
You smile, and I smile, then I say.
Certainly, our greatest moments
Yeah.
are graduating from college, getting married. We had a blast planning our wedding, and we laughed on our wedding day about smiling. Like, if this man don't make us, if he make us smile, my face was like crack. We were like over the whole smiling thing, but we were really happy to get married. And you know, I think our first house, those traditional milestones,
Yes.
our children, of course.
Okay. And you have, how many children you have?
We have two.
Okay.
Ian, who's 21, Peanut, and Aaron, who is 14, and she's our Shugs. But I think traveling would be some of our, you know, discovering new places is kind of where we, I think, fall in love over and over again.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Because we didn't travel. I didn't travel as a kid. You know, my
Yes.
parents took me to, you know, see my grandparents in Kentucky. That was
Yeah.
my summer break.
Okay.
So we haven't done a whole lot of world travel, but we've been able to travel a little bit within the United States. And so one of the best moments I think is when we traveled. We went to Vegas, then we went to Sedona, Arizona for a week, just the two of us, and we got to see a different part of the world that we had never seen. So we experienced it together at the same time.
Yes.
We were curious about it. So yeah, we did a Jeep tour. So opportunities like that, I would say, are really important. And I would agree about the birth of our children being, you know, the highlight of our life together. I would certainly say that was at the top of the list.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree. Those are our highlights.
Having you close to me.
And so what have been some of the greatest challenges? How do you hold on through challenges?
Yeah. Challenges are always going to be there because we're different people. We've been married 23 years, but I think the thing that we both recognize is that we have different outlooks on certain things, different ways that we think the best ways to raise your children, the best strategies to discipline your children, or the best advice, how to provide that advice, what that looks like. So those, to me, that's something that I can say for certain is a challenge in probably not only in our marriage, but in any marriage.
Yes.
Finances are a challenge.
Yes.
And so the first thing I'd say is that it comes from a point of, first of all, understanding and respecting that your partner is different from you.
Yes.
And acknowledging and accepting the fact that your partner is different from you.
Yeah.
But having the will to work together in spite of the differences for the common good, which is our marriage. You know what I mean? So I give a little bit, she gives a little bit, I think, and then we come to some common decision that I may not agree with 100%. She may not agree with it but 100%. But together we agree with it for the good of everybody. And I think that's from finances, that's from how to raise your kids, what, you know, buying a house, you know, all those kinds of things.
Do you let her have her way?
Most of the time, I think so. Yeah.
Most of the time. But communicate, I think, and I'll just add to that, in what he just described, communication being the foundation to all of that. To echo what he just stated in terms of us, we come from different parents with different values. We were raised very different. We're both oldest children. We're both very alpha. Don't think our way is the right way right off the top. Like, we look at each other sometimes like, you don't see it the way I see it. Like, where are you coming from? What you talking about?
Yes.
And I think over the years, our biggest challenge is less about the issue as it is about our ability to communicate through it.
Yeah.
And understand why we see things differently. And when we understand, when we get to a place in our communication where we understand, the issue most of the time dissipates. It's kind of almost
So your focus is solely on communicating through the problem.
Yeah.
Through the issue.
And when we don't communicate well, it's true. It'll keep coming back. The issue will come back over and over again until we really find a way to communicate and understand.
Sort through it.
Sort through it.
And it's tough sometimes. I mean, it comes,
And there are some things we still working on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah,
I'm talking about yelling and fussing and crying. And I'm talking about, when it g's to that point, you're really trying to sort through some things.
Yes.
Right? When you got to pull back everything and just say, all right, let's lay it all on the table. What are we really talking
So in
about?
23 years, you still might have to cry
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. It comes from time to time.
Because you're stretching, right?
You stretching, kids keep you
Yes.
stretching.
Yes.
Your
yeah.
parents,
Have you-
other people in your life that are also still a part of your life, very intimate in your life, keep you stretching.
For the future generation, what is the best advice that you have for couples staying together? Because family is the cornerstone, and that's how we are gonna get stronger.
I would say that young couples that are interested in getting married need to anticipate that their partner is going to grow and change along with them.
That's
and
good.
that can be a challenge. But the one thing that I think is constant, no matter how long you've been dating or how long you've been married, is you have to have somebody who at their core is interested in a commitment with someone that they are in love with, and they are willing to compromise and sacrifice things in order to make that relationship all that it can be. So that's my advice to younger generation.
And I would just add to that and honestly say that you have to like, in addition to loving the person, you have to like the person. I think sometimes we underestimate just liking and laughing with someone and enjoy being around them.
Yes.
You can't be married to someone long term who you really don't like. If you don't like their ways, if you don't like things about them,
that you can't compromise. That you
that's
cannot
gonna,
compromise.
It's not gonna work. You have to and truly enjoy being around them.
Right. That's good advice.
That's what I would say.
Okay. All right. I'm excited that y'all still together and making marriage look wonderful. Any professing of love today? Any last words? Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, peace, love, and sugar. Yeah.
Having you close to me, amazing, amazing.